concept originated from our understanding about what we recognize as the unique developmental needs of the middle school age child. The recent brain research has revealed a significant amount about how the adolescent brain continues to develop and how the adolescent brain organizes information. And the more parts of the brain that we can stimulate through a learning activity, frequently through a very interactive learning activity, it influences the amount of information a student can store. It influences how they relate to that information.
What I'm trying to do is bring art into the English classroom, and the kids are right now reading Euripides' Iphigenia and so they're going to be performing sections of the play, so that's why they're making Greek theater masks like this, which they will wear as they memorize their lines and deliver them. So it's an attempt to bring art into the English classroom.
Our focus in CASE has been age-appropriate curriculum.
I thought it would be like really boring and everything, but this is super fun.
Okay, we're trying to find out how many rubber bands it's going to take Barbie to reach a certain length without hitting the ground. So this is only about 9 feet, but we're actually doing about 18, so we have to plug it into a computer. We have to try and measure. We have to do a math equation and see how many rubber bands it's going to take by doing a graph. And so we're dropping her and just measuring her so we can have more input for the graph.
The answer is that the slope is the amount of the jump per rubber band. So that gives it a concrete meaning to slope. And the y-intercept is Barbie's height. And when the kids figure that out, it's like light bulbs going off everywhere.
Mrs. Lee's not really helping us do that, so it's kind of like student generated, and we have to learn by ourselves.
The biggest thing is the kids having some commonality with each other, that they're not so enclosed into one classroom with their 23 classmates, and that is the only class they have. They have 24 other kids next door, so it's a group of 48. But they're sitting here in a team space with 48 other kids on the opposite side with a common curriculum. How does that impact learning and teaching? Well, if one student doesn't really know what the homework was or really doesn't understand, there are 3 other teachers and 95 other students here who are having the same curriculum and same teaching methods taught to them. Okay, so what kind of writing?
We also very deliberately designed the buildings to foster the interrelationship between the classrooms. So we brought the math classroom together with the social studies classroom and the science classroom and the English classroom. And we want the students to start to interact with their learning, not looking at each subject as a discrete learning activity, but to start to see all of the interrelationships between all of the disciplines of learning.
The discussions that we have often come out of curriculum from other areas. I know what English is reading, and I've read what English is reading, and I have proximity to that teacher. So if all of a sudden something comes up in my class, I can go in there and say, do you think this will relate? And can I support that? So in fact, some of the things that we do in here connect to things they've already done. And so instead of having this kind of lateral learning, you know, you're learning this in English and this in math, what they learn in English, I can build on in social studies.
We've done that because we know that the way the human mind stores and retrieves information is enhanced when the connections between those different disciplines of learning are established. But from a very practical way, we also believe that the world would be a better, gentler place if we were able to foster and encourage in children the ability to look at an issue or look at a problem from multiple perspectives. And that's why we're teaching in that way.
My daughter Katie's in 8th grade now, and her social studies is no longer history. It's what's going on you know, around you. It's current events, and it's neat to see them put it all together and actually apply it.
Is it really Iraq that has a problem, or is it us?
Do you think that the Iraqi people look at it as wrong because they have supposedly the same religious beliefs as the terrorists do, or maybe slightly different, but they think that, do you think that they would think it was wrong to go around killing people if they're an innocent bystanders?
I get chicken skin because you guys are definitely raising the bar each time. I feel good because you don't need me. You're doing this by yourselves with incredible perceptiveness.
We recognize that when students play an active role in seeking out, assimilating, and mastering what they're being taught, it then becomes theirs, as opposed to a teacher playing the role in which they are the disseminator of the information, thus rendering the student very passive as a learner. And we don't want our students to be passive learners. We recognize that they are engaging, animated, passionate learners, and we want to facilitate and encourage that.
In the middle school, kids want to have freedom, and they want to be given the experience or the opportunity to manage their own time and learn and take risks. And I think that the new school has given them that. It kind of provides a broad guideline, but yet, you know, they can be themselves and explore their own interests and take risks in learning. My son, his name is Connor, and he's in 6th grade, and he has had a tremendous change in attitude towards learning this year, especially in the first trimester. And he expressed to me that he really feels like his teachers are so much more in tune with him. They understand the way he learns, and they communicate a lot better with each other as far as you know, addressing his needs as a student. And I noticed that when he comes home, he's so much more enthusiastic about doing his homework and getting projects in, you know, on a timely basis. And it's just had a tremendous impact on him this year.